This car is very clean.
All right, there
Good
we
to see
go.
you.
Good to see you, Amanda. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Excellent. Picked a beautiful day.
I know. This is great.
Good. Well, thanks for joining me for this edition of Discover UC, brought to us by Astorg Auto.
My pleasure.
Ready to go for a spin?
Yes, let's go.
All right.
Bring it a blazing.
Yeah, just picking you up at WOWK. So tell us, what got you interested in a career in journalism?
I always love to tell this story. My mom told me I could do anything in the world, but she said, but math really isn't your strong suit. It always makes me laugh. But anyways, that was funny. So I left a story that I had written for a creative writing class on the kitchen table. And she had said, that was pretty good. Like, maybe you should think about doing something like that for a living. And the story was actually about how my younger sister would beat me up all the time. I never let her.
Don't get mad, get even.
Right, exactly. So anyways, there's always a reason for things, right? So there was a great story and it stuck. And so I always I visualize everything. I'm like every picture, every time I'm talking about something, I can see it in my head. So I was like, maybe I'll go into television. The irony is I wasn't allowed to watch TV growing up on school nights.
Ah, okay. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Did you live that kind of life?
Yes. Yeah. We, had the TV was tucked away in a closet or a corner, and it had to be pulled out for special occasions.
Very nice. Now, when the Cleveland Indians, well, they were the Indians then, when they were playing in the World Series, there were some exceptions. But other than that, yeah, too funny. But that's how my path got started, though. And I just think it's so cool because I always tell kids, even if you don't know what you want to do, think about something you like to do and then see where you can go from there, because there are always opportunities.
And it's interesting you bring that up, because I was reading an article this morning that said there's, so many things kind of go in cycles, that we're in a cycle right now where a higher percentage of students coming out of high school are undecided about what they want to do in college. And so schools like ours are trying to assure students that they'll have plenty of opportunities once they figure out what they want to do, and lots of chances to take a variety of courses and meet with different faculty and meet with different students on that journey of figuring out what they ultimately want to major in and what career they want to choose.
It's interesting too, just with how fast AI is moving right now. I think about how do you pick a career right now? Wow.
Well, that's another challenge for sure.
Well, you have 8 years under your belt at UC. Tell me how you've watched everything change.
Yeah, so I was really fortunate coming here that the university's been a very kind of innovative university for decades. And so we kind of have that as part of our culture and kind of part of our DNA. But it was a point in time where we kind of put the brakes on a lot of new program development. So that's something that I had a lot of experience in doing in other institutions. So I think was some of our proudest accomplishments thus far have been the design and launch of a number of new programs, primarily in the healthcare, STEM, business fields, as we continue to emphasize what we call professional programs. So we're always looking for the win-win-win. What's the win for the student in being able to come to UC and be prepared for a great job when they graduate? What's the win for the companies and organizations we partner with, so we can be a partner of choice for their career acquisition and development needs? And then it's a win for the university, because there are programs that are going to generate a lot of interest and enrollment and so forth. So yeah, we've been able to launch a lot of new programs that have been very successful. And some of the newest ones are Masters of Occupational Therapy and Doctor of Physical Therapy programs, to really meet the kind of growing needs as we have an aging population. And unfortunately, people fall and or get injured in various ways. So making sure that they're able to get kind of reacclimated to the home environment and physically be able to do all the things that are part of, their quality of life. Really important that we have those types of professionals today, and we're excited to be able to offer those programs.
Yeah, and you guys have had a lot of just physical development as well, some really beautiful centers and things like that.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have a great supportive base here in Charleston. kind of members of the community. One of the first things I heard when I arrived here in Charleston was, if Charleston's going to be a thriving city, it needs to have a thriving university. And people are willing to invest with us to make that happen. And then, of course, we have centuries worth of alumni who are very proud of their degree, whether it was a long time ago from Morris Arby College or more recently from the University of Charleston, and want to make sure that we stay on the great trajectory of success that they experienced when they were here. So lots of support to be able to launch new programs, renovate spaces, and we're not into the kind of the lazy rivers and those climbing walls types of things, but we continue to upgrade the campus facilities to make sure that students are going to have great learning environments and just feel like the university is a great home for them for the 3, 4, or 5 years that they're going to be with us.
You have a working river right there in front of the university.
There you go. So you've been in the journalism business for a while, covering West Virginia. How have you seen the news industry change over the past few years? And what are the differences in the stories that are coming out of our state, kind of over the time that you've been covering news here?
Well, it all goes really fast, I can tell you that. As we come up on the Capitol, I think about how when I first started here in West Virginia, well, actually my first job was in Parkersburg, so even back even more. But I think about the political makeup as we are going to pass the Capitol here soon. It was a completely blue state, and everything has shifted. So if you would have told me that, in this time we'd see this shift in the political parties, from blue to red, I would have never believed you. So that's been really interesting to watch. The struggles have kind of have remained the same, creating that tax base that people need here to make sure that schools are well taken care of. And one of the things that we've really been watching recently is just all these school closures and consolidations. And that's been tough to watch. And I think we even knew back then that those things would happen because they started very slowly. And then now it's just this full stop of all these schools that are closing. So that's been tough. When it comes to covering all of it, the people are a lot younger. Maybe I'm a little bit older, but also it happens, right? It's so weird. But just the speed. I remember a time when if you had a really good story and you didn't want any other station in the market to get it, you would hold your story. You would not put it on the website until 6 o'clock, until it aired. And it was so funny that was a thing, because now that would just absolutely not be acceptable. You have to put it up the second you get it, because you didn't want another station to start working on that story. So, how fast everything is and how we're just pushing stuff out constantly. So the consumption, the appetite for the constant news was there before, but it is really there now. And just the way that we're getting it out, you always thought broadcast first, but now it is absolutely web driven 100%. And it used to be if there was something going on television, let's say there was a baseball game or a basketball game.
A railroad crossing.
Or a basketball game. Thanks, AI. Basketball game or whatever. You didn't have news. You got a little break. Well, now we still do the news. We just do it on the internet. So that has all changed very, very much. So what hasn't changed is construction, and we're coming up on some of that too.
Yeah. It's improvement.
Continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. Yes, I like that very much. Speaking of that, you guys were named one of niche colleges. Was it the best college of the year?
Best college in West Virginia.
Best college in West Virginia. And that's amazing. That's a huge honor to get.
It was. We're very, very proud of that accomplishment. And one of the things that makes that one so special is the ranking from niche, which, by the way, is used by millions of high school students and their families each year as a resource to help students identify which colleges or universities might be a good fit for them based on their interests and their geographic preference, so on and so forth. But what makes their ranking so unique is a big part of the data are student surveys. So they survey current students at each of the schools to get a sense of their experiences. How satisfied are they with their professors? How satisfied are they with the courses that are available to them, how satisfied are they with the campus environment, so on and so forth. And very few rankings kind of take the time to gather that type of information. So for us to be evaluated so highly by our current students, as well as the other kind of demographics that went into the survey, and for us to come out first of the state is just a great kind of testament to the incredible work that our faculty and our staff do, and the environment that we're able to create for our students that really give them kind of a sense of belonging when they come to UC, that they're part of a community, they're part of a family that cares about them, is investing in them, and is going to do everything that we can to help them be successful.
Yeah, they're at that very interesting stage in life where they still need that guidance. And I think we always all need that guidance forever, but at the same time, like, wow, like what an opportunity to see the best in your people through the eyes of those who are going there. I mean, that is just
Right.
like the coolest to me. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And, opinion is so critically important because just as, technology changes that you were talking about before, students' interests change. And,
yeah,
the things that are important to them kind of vary over time. And we really need to keep our thumb on the kind of the pulse of what's important, which actually is one of the reasons that I kind of make it a priority to continue teaching each year. So I
oh,
can
that's
kind of be
neat.
in the
I
classroom
knew
and
that.
spend time with students. Yeah,
What do you teach?
it's a lot of fun. I teach in our MBA program. I teach our global marketing class.
I didn't learn something new every day. That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So thinking about changes, our society has changed quite a bit, some of the things you referred to earlier. But journalism today just seems to involve navigating a lot of noise and a lot of greater polarization and stronger opinions. So how do you try to balance getting to the heart of the story, getting to the heart of the news, being fair, being ethical in a culture that seems like it's kind of pressing individuals to put a stake in the ground and take a stand on issues?
Yeah, some of that technology is so great, but also it provides platforms for people to be opinionated or to show their personal bias, and you have to be really, really careful about that because we all have one. I mean, we're human, and the way I will tell a story might be different than like a male colleague might tell a story, or a female colleague who's 20 years younger than me, based on our own life experiences. So as far as the noise is concerned, I think it's amplified because everyone's had strong opinions, I think, for always. But it's amplified because it's so easy now. So my number one rule is don't read the comments. Especially like right after something happens, because you don't want to hear what people are saying, in the sense that you don't want to have to handle the vitriol. But it's important to think about the good job handling that. It's important to understand to understand that everyone is going to have an opinion and think about it. So you
Right.
can't, if you do read the comments, you have to really not take it personally. You have to think of yourself as a product. And if you are doing what you know is right when it comes to being an ethical journalist, sharing both sides of an issue, then you can go to sleep at night and feel good about what you did and block that noise out. But you're right, it's a difficult time to be navigating some of the stories of today. It's a little tricky to say the least, but it keeps us on our toes, and it makes sure that we are always doing the best we can, because if people are going to put that much of a magnifying glass on the work that we're doing, then it holds us to a higher standard. So I don't ever mind being held to a higher standard. And I know you guys do that at UC, like hold yourself to a high standard. You want to set the standard of being Charleston's university. And as we drive around on this side of the river, I know that you guys have done some things to like put yourself right here.
Absolutely. That was also a big priority when I arrived, hearing from local leaders that, hey, we love the university. We love coming over to your campus to watch a sporting event, or come over for, you have a great guest speaker come in, and so forth.
You do get the best speakers, don't you?
Oh, we do get some good ones.
Yeah.
But we don't see your students over here as much as we would like. We don't see your faculty around here as much as you would like. And maybe they were just saying we don't see your president over there as much. I don't know. They didn't say it.
You were working.
But we kind of took that to heart and said, that is important. Just as people say, if Charleston is going to be a thriving city, it needs to have a thriving university, it's quid pro quo. We need to contribute to the vitality of the city. So we kind of kept our eye on if we were to come downtown, where would we like to be? And we clearly had our sights on a couple block stretch of Capitol Street, which we'll be passing in just a minute. And an opportunity came up for us to take advantage of some space that had been vacated and leverage the kind of great expertise that we've built up in innovation and open up a downtown innovation hub that's designed to serve the needs of small and medium-sized businesses. And we did a lot of research to say, well, what resources are available for small and medium-sized businesses? And what we found was the state and the city and some of the other organizations part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem have a lot of resources for somebody to start a business. But there wasn't a whole lot for that business that has been around for a couple of years, but has kind of plateaued to help them scale up and grow. So that's what we focus on with our downtown innovation hub and have a great storefront right here on Capitol Street.
It's a nice space.
Yeah, it really is. And we partner with lots of other organizations, for them to host meetings and hold events for the entire community. But it's really been a great space, and we're really kind of proud to kind of plant the flag here downtown and offer programming that can be utilized by so many different groups. So sometimes, just to kind of asking me to reflect on some of the things that we've done here, I'm sure you sometimes have an opportunity to pause and do the same. As you look back on your career, what stories stand out? What are the ones that maybe you think had the biggest impact, or ones that just made you feel good, or ones that made you feel sad? What are some of the ones that come to mind?
Some of the sad ones really do stick with you. Like, you can still feel it in your gut. Like, when you think about, because we're with people in some of their best moments of their life, but oftentimes it's like in some of their most awful moments. And I can think back like 20 years to a case that I was covering inside a courtroom, and it involved a really young girl and an elderly woman, and it was just a terrible accident. And I can still feel like being in that courtroom and just how sad it was that day. I've just recently, and people are so gracious, had the opportunity to talk with two people who lost loved ones, and within like 24 hours of them losing their loved ones, the way they open up and will share their stories and share about their loved ones, I have chills right now just thinking about it. Like, I'm always so impressed and just so amazed at how trusting people will be to share in a moment that's so vulnerable for them. So those are the sad ones, but like some of the fun ones, just I love every story I do. So like, it's hard for me to be like, well, that was my most fun and most favorite story that I ever did, because I genuinely, like, my favorite story is always the last story that I worked on.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's just always the way it is. Like, I fall in love with everyone who I go and like get to talk to, because I just can't imagine being so open with a stranger. Like just sharing so much of your life. So I think that's cool. I've had a chance to spend some time with the Wolf family, and Andrew Wolf has become a household name. He was a National Guardsman who was shot in Washington, D.C. the day before Thanksgiving, alongside Sarah Beckstrom. Specialist Beckstrom passed away. And Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf has had this amazing recovery. And one of the coolest things about getting to interview him was just watching like this 25-year-old kid who's like in the prime of his life beat the odds, like the doctors thought his mom was crazy that night at the hospital when she said he's going to be okay. And she said, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. You guys saved his life. He's going to be fine. And he just is blowing everyone away with his miraculous recovery. But one of the things that I think is so cool is they don't miss a chance to talk about Sarah Beckstrom and her family and the pain that that family is going through. And they want to remember Sarah. As much as they celebrate Andy's recovery, they're remembering Sarah along the way. And I think that's really like a very special thing to do. So
it's an amazing story, and really kind of, kudos to you and kind of your heart and your passion that people feel so comfortable kind of opening up to you in such trying, difficult times when they're typically not at their best moment, but they're able to, shine as much as they can in those difficult situations.
Because when the news gets a bad, thank you. The news gets a bad rap because it's like, well, you guys are right in their faces with the camera, and we talked about how fast things move. Like people want to know in that moment, and so I want to at least give someone the opportunity to say, no, I don't care to share, but thank you. You can tell me no, that's okay, but let me at least give you the opportunity. So I think that's cool. All right, when you look at opportunity, what does the University of Charleston's future look like to you? Because there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, there are. And I think if we're successful, in a lot of ways, the university will look the same, right? We have an incredibly robust mission that we're going to educate each student for a life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement.
Sounds like 3 bullet points there, right?
That's it. Continue to be kind of very robust. Our core values are student focus, quality, and integrity. Those are not going to go away. But we just need to continue to keep our thumb on the pulse of what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the world around us. So we take the responsibility that when we bring a student to the university, that not only are we going to help them be successful, in accomplishing what they came here for, which is to earn a degree, but beyond that, how are we going to prepare them for a productive life? How are we going to prepare them for a career that's going to be rewarding and meaningful and give them and their families a good kind of quality of life? So I think in a lot of ways, if we're successful, those things will continue. But it might kind of look a little bit different in terms of the programs that we offer and where we host them. But that's kind of how we roll, and it's been a successful journey so far, so we're going to do our best to keep it going.
I love it, and I love to see people want to come back, like the gentleman who graduated last year.
Great story,
and he was
wasn't it?
and he promised
Glenn
his
Kirk.
wife,
Yes.
Glenn, and he promised his wife he'd be there. I mean, that when I think about stories that I've done, and it's not just because I'm sitting here with you.
Right.
That was absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah,
He was
that was
a
really touching.
gem, and what a testament to what UC does, like that he would want to fulfill that promise to his wife, but also come back to the university and like be a part of that in so many ways.
Absolutely, and bring his family there to
Yes.
celebrate with him.
They
That was
were
a great life moment.
That was a good story. I'm not going to lie, that was a really good one. That was a good one.
Well, Amanda, thanks so much for spending
Thank
time
you.
with
I
me
appreciate
today. Appreciate all that you do in the community and keeping us informed and doing it in a just fresh and entertaining way.
Thank you for always being a part of my interviews. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was going to be interviewed by you this time.
There you go.
Thank you.